I'm with MTR in one regard. MTR has had to revisit the Akash Singh situation, and he has stated that the reason that he revisits it is because we have to study this. I agree with him. We have to study not only what it is. I mean, in all honesty, the black manosphere sees exactly what it is, but we have to study the spread of what we have known to be a problem in our community. Something that is generally the case between men and women of various cultures was exaggerated amongst us. Hybristophilia, hybristomania, aversion to weakness in men. These are normal traits in women, but our women exaggerated these traits to where they were pretty much looking all for the same few silverback gorillas, niggorillas, swaggering, chest thumping, barking, and growling niggorillas. So you had to be one of those having a chimp out moment, as a white supremacist would call it, in order for the women to say, I'm attracted to his thug energy. It was exaggerated amongst us, but present in many different places. Now, unfortunately, what we're seeing is that the exaggerated form of this has moved from the Sistren to the Karens and the Beckys and the Ambers to the Jasleens and the Yasmins and to the Linglings, those who were born and raised in the West. There will always be things about their marriage that we don't know. But we're looking at what is open and obvious, and that's actually part of my religion. What is made open and obvious is that by which you judge. Only God can judge me is a quote from Tupac, not from Muslim scholars or from companions or from any prophets, peace be to them. We judge by what's open and apparent. God's final judgment takes into account all of the secrets. This is a case of certain things being open and apparent, and as I said when I rhymed yesterday, that this is not speculation. She gave us the receipts. But the lesson to take home from this and to tell the younger brothers is that in a culture like the West currently, the nice guy is set up to lose. You see, the question that some women have is, why is it that guys marry women like this? But the thing is that the guys you look at are doing this out of pretty much a type of deception. As I stated before, even in Saudi Arabia, mothers tell daughters what they need to know about marriage and manipulating husbands and things like that. Dads just tell the sons, and uncles just tell the nephews, get out there and make that money, as if that's all it takes to be a husband. And when these women decide that they want to cheat, well, with whom will they cheat? It's not easy for these women to cheat here, but they could still do it. It is still easier for them to hide than it is for husbands to hide when they cheat. Husbands can't hide that very easily. If a husband's going to decide that he will cheat, he's probably going to be watched. And when the woman decides she's going to cheat, well, to a certain extent she will be, and her reputation is ruined once in fact somebody ever says anything about her doing that. But she has an easier time getting away with it. A side dude here in this country has no interest in telling the husband that he's the side dude. That's the first thing. Any more than a guy in the West would. Now, this is here where it's very conservative. It's more sexually conservative here than it is in India. And that is not even where Jocelyn personally is from. It's where her parents are from, where her parents-in-law are from. Not her and not Akash. This place here with this greater conservatism has certain pitfalls of which you must be aware, although they're not lurking at every single effing corner every time. Where you live in the West, that is all there is available to you. If you are not a swaggering niggerilla side piece type dude, the fact that you even know the archetype when I say side piece type dude tells you everything you need to know. And if you are not that side piece type dude, the personal trainer, the gym guy, then you're not going to be sexually approached. You're not even going to be sexually appreciated if you do perform well. That's the thing about it. The providing husband type is always going to be the one in a context of where you live in the West right now that is targeted for the cucking. That's why she marries that provider type. Whether it's Akash or Steph or you or PJ, all these dudes are not pushovers. Akash said that he was bullied in high school. Most kids are, but he's not even necessarily a pushover. Akash has the wool kept over his eyes because he doesn't know. Same as PJ. You can't physically intimidate and scare PJ Washington. He has to be done this by deception, and that's the name of the game. And that's what they're involved in. These young brothers need to know that if they are not the side piece archetype, then the women have already ignored them or slated them for the job of being cucked later as a provider husband. By the side dude. That's it. The more important lesson to tell these young cats is something we can only tell them in the proper words if we understand it in the proper words. Although we do understand it, the words in which we should understand it aren't the words in which we do, so I'm going to say it to you in the proper words. We think that women just sort of have a lack of respect for men that don't know women and aren't experienced with women's secrets and reading women's minds. That's not just the case. No, they hate you. Okay? Akash Singh is the kind of guy that does not understand women because who the huck was going to explain women to him, let alone the Western hyena bitch? Who gonna tell him, right? His mom's not. She ain't Western. His cousins aren't because their moms ain't Western and they don't really know these hyenas like that. So who's going to really sit down and explain to him the Western hyena bitch? The women of his own community that know what to tell him, know what to tell him because that's who the hell they are, so why would they tell him? They will be telling on themselves. So therefore, what must be understood is that you look at him as just inexperienced. He doesn't have to be a pushover. He may look like one. I don't think as a grown man he would remain a pushover amongst other men. He was willing to sit up and argue and debate with Myron and Walter. I wouldn't have done that. He was. You think if a growling, barking Rottweiler runs after his wife, he's going to jump on top of the nearest car and hide? I mean, he may have looked like he would have done it in high school, but do you really think as a reasonable adult man he would do that now? No, that's not the case. So it's not for that reason that Jasleens sees the weakness in him unless she just doesn't understand men and maturity. And maybe she doesn't. And I'm talking about even the non-famous examples of them, so that we understand. She hates him because he does not understand women, even though that's not his fault. And this is how it is for most of the men coming up in the West. You ain't going to understand women. It ain't your fault. And the women are going to hate you for not understanding them. And these young cats need to know not just that these women don't look at you with respect because you don't understand women. They need to know that these women hate you because you don't understand women. They need to know this. If these men don't understand women, these women are going to hate them. And they won't understand women because women in the West are on a conspiracy to make sure that most men never learn about them because they hide and shit, because they have a financial interest and they have a sexual interest in digging out the side piece archetype dudes right now, and a financial interest in cucking dudes that don't know any better later on, or marrying them, I should say, to get taken care of. That's their game. And these young guys need to understand that women already hate men on whom they think they can play that game, even when it's not the man's fault. Tell these young brothers that, and in those words. Jasleen disrespects Akash. She hates Akash. If she doesn't hate him, she damn sure resents him. And if that's the case, it's because she's too lazy to hate. And we know she's lazy and spoiled. To my, she can't give her in-laws grandkids because it would give her acne. Bitch, don't. Wait a minute, hold up. She wants to marry. Why doesn't she want to have kids? Akash does, I'm sure. I bet you that's why she doesn't want to have them. She just doesn't want to have Akash's kids. I bet you money. If Akash didn't want to have kids, she'd be like, oh, I need to hurry up and get pregnant. That's the name of the game in the West. These young brothers need to know. And we might still be shocked by how accurate pessimism is and how pessimistic we have to be and keep on becoming in order to be accurate. We might be shocked about it, but we still got to tell these young brothers whatever we know. That's why we keep having to revisit this sort of thing. We know what it is because we saw it with Aisha years ago, Jada P more recently, Jada Pinkett Shakur. We saw it when Sierra was willing to marry Russell, even if they're playing characters for Hollywood for business reasons. The characters they were playing were real, and we knew that because we saw it in real life. These other groups are just now learning, but we don't want these young brothers who are growing up with everybody to not know this information that we know. It could turn out to where the guys that are kids today, the black boys that are kids today, could turn into grown men who know less about this than the Indian boys that are going to be, that are currently kids, and the Chinese boys that are currently kids. These groups are so shocked by what they're seeing that they're beginning to talk about it now at the same, and since the thing is that their moms are not really in a position to stop anybody from telling them and red pilling their boys. Our mothers are in positions to stop us from red pilling other black boys and men. So we're going to have to work harder to do it. I hope this helps. And before I go, I'm going to say this. At the lounge, I'm going to do some more rhyming like what I did. It'll be the Red Pill Rhymes. To counteract the rhyming influence of the 90s and 80s simp love songs. It's going to be on there more, so you might as well go ahead and join. Because now I'll have a little bit more time and I'll be putting more content on there. You got 2 samples of it yesterday on my live stream. From here on out, it's going to be on there. And as a matter of fact, what I've already said to rhyme on the YouTube channel will be made available only on there now. Thank you for listening as always. Black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power just because they don't like it. Black patriarchy until extinction of judgment day. And thank you for flying with us again here on Jet Black Air, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us till the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender, justice forever.